And 1920, good luck. We get white for this one, so knight f3 as per usual. Opponent 750 games of rapid. We've done just over 1300. Okay, goes knight f6, very solid. What do I want to do? I think I'll go with d4 for this game. So it's more just a normal d4 game as opposed to a reti game. Yeah, but I'll still put the bishop on the diagonal. You'll see this in lots and lots of my rapid games. The structure I'm used to playing, so it's what we'll stick to here. Or at least to start the game, depending on obviously how our opponent plays. We'll have to react to that. But we're just going to aim to castle. He launches one there. I think this or this is probably needed, isn't it, to protect the pawn. Not sure which way around I want to do it. I'll do this one. I think this is basically not a bad pawn structure, so yeah, the knight is still double protected. We can still castle even if the bishop finds its way down here at some point. So we're going to get castled. Black will probably do the same thing, develop the bishop and castle. Then we've got a choice what to do. Probably b3 and bishop on this diagonal as well. Well, he's chosen to take there. Okay, I guess I can do this and this and try and deal with this pawn structure. Yeah, it releases my bishop this way. So we'll take, we'll probably play c3, try and solidify, or rook across and then c3, depends what black does. He plays across. Yeah, I'm going to play rook over just to try and help deal with this pawn push. So I'll play c3, maybe bishop up, but if I play bishop up now, you can attack us straight away. So I'll play c3, so I've got to figure out where these two are going to go. So bishop here and trade could still be a concept. Do apologies for my arrows there. I mean, you could play h6 immediately to try and stop it. We could try and go here. Okay, do I want to commit to that? h6 takes, queen takes, knight up. I guess you can still push on, but it seems playable. I'm actually going to do it, otherwise I'm struggling to see where my bishop's going to end up. So I'll just aim to come up here, trade when we need to trade. Okay, let's do that now. And I'll develop the knight, so one guards another. Again, if everything pushes, there's always the potential for the counter pin. But now what? Now we need a plan. So what if I do knight forward? And we just overloaded. Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, and I don't see a counterpunch, so we're just overloaded. What else have we got? Knight here feels a bit slow. Knight here, maybe. Yeah, actually, just going to develop the queen. It gives me an option to potentially come in. So if I come in and you take either way now, we can take back and protect the pawn, but maybe we can get active this side. I'll just click my little fan off there. It's mild right now, but it's not silly, not too bad. So if I play a knight in now, we attack the knight and the bishop. If you take with the knight, we take and we hit two pieces, so you won't do that. And the bishop's actually stuck and can't escape, so that feels like a nice move. Get rid of our opponent's bishop pair. If you take with a bishop, we take back, so it gets rid of one of the bishops, but then we've got a broken structure. But it feels playable, so I'm going to play it with an idea to play knight here or f4, then knight f3. So you'll either take or maybe just protect his bishop in some way, shape or form. And if you move one of the rooks, it gives the bishop a square to drop back to if we don't take. So let's just see how black chooses to play it. I mean, I could pre-move pawn takes knight, but it's a rapid game, so there's no real need to pre-move there. There's always a chance you might miss something. He does take, so we need to take with the pawn. So now I've either got the riskier f4, but it prepares maybe f5 and then knight behind, or just a straight knight behind. Knight behind allows us to come to d4 as well. I guess he can get jumpy as well, can't he? So the more sensible way is just to play knight here with a view knight to d4. f4 just feels a bit bold. I'm not really a wild, bold style player, am I? So let's play knight here with a view to come into d4. And if he takes, we can take back. Get a bit of a French structure if we end up doing that. I'm not sure we're going to actually play that, but it gives us the option. Just takes away that f4 move for the time being. Maybe h4 becomes a move, but I don't see what we do after h4 other than giving the king an emergency square, but it could be a good move. Get the rook centered, but we don't want to collapse all this structure, so we've got to watch out for ideas from black. Queen up. Maybe you can just simply push and you're really solid. Queen in there, up, and you protect your pawn. The rook here gives me the option to play queen up and challenge the queen. I guess knight across does as well, but again, I don't see any real way to break through unless we're going to go f4, f5. Knight could give us a tempo challenging the queen, then f4 and a quick f5. We'll have to think about that depending on what black does. Yeah, he's played knight out wide with a view to coming in. Logical. So we can't now play here. We can go here and he can come in. And then what? We can either protect the pawn or we can push. Kick him back. Then push again. But if I go here, I'm still threatening f4, f5, right? If he takes, we can push. If I go this way, the queen has to move somewhere. Then f4. Say we get f5 in takes. Yeah, we're not really getting a lot, are we? So we probably need to go this way then. Let's just bring the knight into the center, just considering f4. He's going to come in as well. If I do this, it's a weakness here. But I guess I've got rook across for the time being. So pawn up. Maybe the knight can come back. Oh, excuse me. But there's no desperation for one move because my queen guards the pawn. So I'm still looking at f4. I'm looking at h4, sorry. f4, though, the main purpose is to go f5. I guess if you take, we can take this center pawn. But then it would collapse this one. And he's actually attacking this pawn as well. So we probably need to do this and risk this, don't we? Yeah, we don't want the knight being left there. Let's develop our rook. We don't want the knight being left there pressuring this pawn. But again, dare I play f4, f5 to try and come here? That's what I'm debating with myself. It might be a good concept, although we want to guard this pawn. When he moves, he's attacking the pawn immediately. Has he got a trick to do that, actually? I hope not. Well, I'm committed now. I've played it now, haven't I? So I'm looking at rook across pretty much whatever he does, almost. So we kind of have to go here and hope that we can protect this, but I don't quite see how I actually push it. Oh, he's gone back offering the knight trade, so we can come here threatening to jump in now. I might have missed something there, because we could have attacked the pawn, but we threatened to come in. He attacks this, so I'm going back to my idea of pushing here. I can't push here now, he can just take. If I push here, he could take anywhere. So it's too bold, isn't it? So I'm looking at knight here with a view to jumping in, but then what do I actually do? Knight here. He can't play rook up though. He moves here, he moves again. There's a pawn here. So knight here, he goes here. We come in. He's got a choice of a few squares. Then maybe we can push on. I like the look of that. Although here, does it simply blunder here? But I can come in and attack two rooks, right? And he's got no follow-up. Oh, he has got a follow-up here. If he takes and I come in, he can come here, attack our two rooks. So we take on, no, it doesn't work. Then we're back to this idea again. I might have to play f4 after all. Takes. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be bold and play f4. This time I will pre-move. Obviously, if he takes, we have to take back. And I'm a minute down on the clock now. But now if he doesn't trade, knight b5 looks like a move unless he plays a6. But he has traded. So again, a safe pre-move. If he takes rook, we have to take back. Nothing really else we can look at. But my king's wide open now, so maybe h3 or h4, give the king a square, but not my normal style of play. This is a little bit dangerous. Big bit dangerous, really. But how do I play f5? I'd like to play f5 at some point. We need the queen not to cover the square. If the queen wasn't covering the square, we could play f5, and if you take, we take here. That's the idea. But what else do we do? He can play rook c6, and I think we'd have to take it. And then he'll take with a bishop, rook c1. He can play rook c8. Yeah, rook c6. I don't really have a good move to not take, do I? I can't really move the rook off the file and concede the open file. So I'd have to take if he goes rook c6, I think. But he could even take with a pawn. Okay, your bishop's a bit boxed in for now, but you're threatening c5 at any moment. See rook c8 behind the pawn, but he'd probably take with the bishop. But what else do I do? What other plan can we come up with? I wonder if no, actually h3 I can't play. I'll lose the g3 pawn, don't know where the queen is. Yeah, I can't push this pawn because he's threatening this. Okay, so I've got to scrub that idea, unless the queen leaves here. But I'd need the queen not to be covering this square, and that's where he's actually gone to. So he's tempting me for this, but again, right now he just simply takes. It is tempting though, isn't it? I can play h3 now and tuck my king away. I can even play here, and if he takes, we can go here. That might be an idea, because if he doesn't take, we're doubling up. So here, if he takes, pawn takes. Because I'm threatening b4 and a3, but it's opening up his bishop, so I really want to go here. Yeah, I'm going to go here. I'm losing too much time. We're both under half time now, but it's given my king a half sort of square. And we're half threatening to push and push. But obviously if I push this now, this pawn falls. Queen here might be an idea. Then we cover the rook, we cover the pawn so we can push. He's moved his king, so he wants to counter push. So I've got to deal with that. So I'm going to go here quickly to overprotect the rook, but I'm threatening g4 to play f5 to undermine the pawn. That's the idea. He doesn't have to take the pawn, of course. He can just leave it. But that's the threat, to play g4 and hope that my king is safe. That's what we're hoping for. g4. I don't think g5 is a move. f5 is what we're aiming for. Just trying to gain a bit of space and undermine the centre. But if we take, he can take back either way. He doesn't have to capture our pawn. But if we get f5, I guess we might threaten f6. Maybe. But every pawn push you do, the pawns, they become a little bit more attacking, but they become harder to protect as well. So it's more difficult to protect, so it's easier to lose them. Yeah, he's played queen across, logical. So here, if he comes down, I can still just go here, right? If he takes, we take here is the idea. Okay, I'm still actually threatening rook takes, and if he takes, I can go here. And if we trade, we get the open file, and my king looks safe. Say he comes here, we can come up. My king's actually safe, isn't it? But I guess his is safe, but I think that's actually a better way to play it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for the open file. My king feels safe now. I've got an emergency square. So say he gets his queen in. I think we can come forward, hit the bishop, threaten a check. And he could just play rook c6 now. We can trade off. It feels like my defense is okay, and I can start hopefully activating the king, h2 or f2, and just still play this g4 idea. If too much of the big pieces, the queens and rook, come off, though, it could be hard to convert. But queen down attacks the pawn. We can go attack his bishop and his pawn. So he's gone ultra solid, but we do have the momentum for one move. Now we can go here to stop him coming in, but he can easily just shuffle his queen. So we can go here preparing this f5 concept. So say here down, can we just play f5, takes and takes? This would then fall. So I'm looking at queen here to attack his pawn. Okay, let's go here. We're threatening a check here as well to collect this if his queen wanders in. I think my king is safe. Check here. If he goes here, he attacks the pawn, but we attack his pawn first. Sorry, check. And I go here. But I'm threatening check here to collect if his queen wanders off. Okay, this is where we have to focus. We've got a little bit of time on the clock. Not a barrel load of time, a little bit of time. It feels safe here as long as this position doesn't collapse. But again, queen here, here takes. He can then check and collect the center. So that might be what he's aiming for. So here. So do I go here first? If he goes back, fair enough. But it's weakening all this structure, isn't it? If I go here to go here, then I can't go there anywhere. I don't actually know. I'm just wondering whether to go here instead of here. This feels like a natural move, doesn't it, though? He's got this or this. So what about queen back then? Here. I mean, I'm going to go back. I'm trying to cover this. If he goes back, I think I can trade and weaken this pawn. And I'm threatening to push and push. And I'm also trying to stop him infiltrating. So here now I can just trade. He attacks a pawn, he attacks a queen. This structure feels like it would be good for us. Eventually we can target the pawn. Might be wrong, but that's what it feels like. So he's played across. Okay. Well, now I'm going to push then. There's a potential check here if he goes here, but I'm just going to push forward. Or I can come here first. So down here, check, sidestep. If he takes, I think I can take back. Okay, I'm going to push. So check, I think I have, obviously I have to go here. I mean, technically you can block, but you're going to go here. He doesn't have to take, but if he does, I think we just take back. We could go with the queen, no, we'll have to figure that out. But the idea would be to go with the pawn and just try and push on. Oh, I've got him down to a minute now, actually. I need to use some of my time, but the more time of my own I use, the more thinking time he gets. Excuse me. So he's played queen in. So he's actually allowing us to take and give him a weaker pawn. Then I can maybe come here. But I could push here as well. Oh, excuse me. I think he can just close that down. I think I have to take. And queen across feels like a good move to me, but I don't see how I get in if he doesn't trade. Well, why is he thinking here? I'll check first, but here. What I don't want is to blunder this pawn now, but here, trade, it has to be good, right? I don't think he can afford to trade here because of the clock. But there's no infiltration easy right now. I've got to push my pawns and get the bishop on a light square. So where's the technique? Here to go here. I think I drop the bishop back and try and go here. Now I've got the option to go here. Hold on, do I go on a dark square? I think I go here. Now he can't let me do the taking, can he? So he's fine this side. So do I push up? Yeah, it might actually be a theoretical draw this, but I've got a target. Okay, let's come back. Okay, let's get on the dark square. Now, how do I fix this? The dark square, I don't want to fix it yet. I'm trying to do something like this to pressure his pawn, but I think he can just sit and hold. But he's given me a target here as well. Okay, can I afford to ignore that? Don't think I can. But now there's no way through, is there? There's no actual way through. Yeah, it's just a draw, isn't it? Let's just repeat. It's just a draw. He's done very well. He's done very well there. It's just a draw. It's a solid defense. There's no way through. Let's see what it was in engine speak to see if we've missed anything. So we have 47 moves. They're the move times for both players. Queen's pawn gains symmetrical variation. Let's see how balanced it was. There might have never been a chance to actually win this one. Level out the opening. Completely level at the end. He's played it rather well then. Literally completely level all the way through. We've had a few of these recently. It's been completely flatline level. Not exactly much of a blip. Just completely flatline level start to finish. 97 against, well, 96 against 97 on the accuracy. We've got a few inaccuracies. He's just played a perfect move. Literally every move of the game he's played a perfect move. Nothing whatsoever has been flagged. You see that we do have at least a couple of inaccuracies. He's just played a perfect move every game, so there's nothing I can do to win a game like that. So there's nothing to see here. We're just looking for logical development moves and trying to come up with a plan. But it's just been played too well, so there's nothing that we can essentially do about it. So here, first inaccuracy. I should have played the knight back to f3 instead of risking f4. So it's just completely level. Then another slight little blip. There, here. I shouldn't have taken the rook. I should have played the bishop back to f1 instead of just trading at this point. But it's just completely level. I've done my best to try and push forward. And it's just traded down into a drawn endgame. Nothing whatsoever I can do. So, like I said, there's nothing to see here. And then, you know, there's no way through. The king can't possibly get through. So all we can do is potentially, you know, sack a bishop for a pawn. Opponent the same thing, like maybe here takes and runs, something like that if our king's too far. Well, there's nothing else we can do. So it is what it is.